Fight fans, another one bites the dust here in Las Vegas as Saul Canelo Alvarez defeats Erislandy Lara via split decision in a highly controversial manner. The fight was very close watching at ringside. It could have gone either way to either or fighter. The judges scoring the fight 115 to 113 for Canelo, 115 to 113 to Erislandy Lara, and 117 to 111 to Canelo Alvarez. Now that's 9 rounds to Canelo Alvarez. I know a lot of people here in the press room not in agreement with that scorecard, and for the most part though it was a very close fight, one in which both fighters had ebbs and flows in their matchups here tonight. Now the press conference is about to start. We're going to hear from Canelo Alvarez, from his promoter Oscar De La Hoya, and Team Lara talk about their performances here tonight.
I want to announce that we did have a sellout, 14,239. It goes to show you the star power of Saul Canelo Alvarez. It goes to show you that people want to see him from all over the world.
Buenas noches. Bueno, primero que nada quiero agradecer a todos por el apoyo que siempre me brindan. Y pues ya vieron la pelea, ¿no? Yo salí a pelear, yo siempre peleo para la gente y realmente sabíamos que iba a ser así la pelea, ¿no? Presionando íbamos a ganar. No pensamos que íbamos a ir a un maratón tan largo, pero así fue, ¿no? Yo salí a hacer mi pelea, a presionar y es como ganamos.
Good evening to everybody, and first of all, I want to say thank you for all the support as always. What can I say about the fight? I mean, the fight, we knew it was going to be that type of fight. You know, I was going to be pressuring him, but I didn't think it was going to be that long of a marathon.
Oscar, can I ask Oscar about Saul's performance tonight? One of the things that, from the 6th round onwards, he seemed to stick to his game plan very well. He cut down the ring, he changed his angles of attack, and I thought we saw a developed Saul Alvarez in there tonight against a very slippery opponent.
Absolutely, he did extremely well against a slippery opponent. You called it, and Saul came to fight, and like we all said, it was a difficult fight, and that's what everybody expected.
A couple questions I wanted to ask you. First of all, was it frustrating to fight that kind of fight where Lara never stood still and he was moving around the ring so much? Was it frustrating?
No, en los primeros rounds estaba agarrando la distancia, no fallaba algunos golpes por lo mismo, porque estaba moviéndose mucho, pero después empecé a conectar los golpes abajo, ¿no? Los golpes abajo, empecé a conectar combinaciones, pero fue parte de lo que teníamos planeado, ¿no? Ir siempre presionando la pelea.
You know, the first couple of rounds, I was just trying to cut the distance, and just try to catch up to him. And finally, I think after a few rounds, I was able to start working the body very well, and that opened up the combinations, and I started throwing combinations.
I have 2 more. Did you feel like you were able to cut the ring off as well as you should have? You know, when he was running around like that, did you feel like you cut the ring as well as you should have?
Bueno, eso es lo que estaba haciendo, ¿no? Pero entre más lo hacía, más se movía. Hubo un round que le agarré un golpe con lo que lo corté y todavía más, empezó a correr más todavía. Pero bueno, yo hice mi pelea, ¿no? Presionando la pelea, tirando los golpes. Las combinaciones más fuertes las tiré yo.
That was the game plan, to cut off the ring. And while I started doing that a little bit, he started running and running more. When I caught him and cut him with that uppercut, he started moving around and you know, he did more. But I think that, you know, I threw the strong combinations, the harder punches, and I think that's what, you know, ultimately wanted.
And last question, I know you just came out of a very hard physical fight. At ringside, you know, we asked Oscar who may be next, and he mentioned guys like Miguel Cotto and James Kirkland and Gennady Golovkin. They're all guys that would fight you. Is that what you want next, you know, a guy that will fight you as opposed to having to chase somebody down and a guy that's sort of a cute boxer?
Yo peleo con quien sea, se mueva o no se mueva. Yo quise darles esta pelea, que decían que no iba a tomar esta pelea. Él era el que tanto hablaba y al final que me iba a llevar a la escuela. Yo creo que nadie quiere ir a esa escuela. Entonces yo peleo con quien sea, con quien se mueva, con quien vaya al frente, con quien sea peleo.
You know, I'll fight with anybody. I'll fight with a fighter that stands and fights. I'll fight with the fighter that's going to move. I wanted to give you guys this fight because you guys said I wouldn't take it, and I did it, okay? But, you know, he talked so much. He said he was going to take me to school. Well, guess what? I don't think anybody wants to go to that school.
Hice mi trabajo perfecto y fue tremenda mierda lo que hicieron.
Said, you know, I did my job and it was disgraceful what they did to me.
Creo que ese juez que vio la pelea de la parte que ganó el Canelo, creo que ese juez estaba vendido, no sé, estaba comprado.
Yeah. Whatever judge had a 9-3, I can't get, there's not words that can explain for him to have Canelo winning 9-3.
Pero bueno, nos vemos la próxima. Espero que se dé la revancha y vamos a ver quién es mejor. Ya lo demostré y seguiré haciendo el trabajo.
He says we got to do an immediate rematch. I already showed I was better than him, and I'll show it again any other night. He knows he lost in his heart. Everyone knows it.
Oscar está aquí detrás de mí, está consciente de lo que pasó. Él fue boxeador y él sabe que él también le robó la pelea, está consciente.
Yeah, Oscar, who's a great fighter, he was a boxer. He's been robbed before. He knows it was a robbery. He knows it in his heart, so does Canelo.
Why did you feel this was the best strategy and the best way for Lara to fight Canelo, the way he fought him?
Well, you know, the styles are different. But, I mean, you know, Canelo's a guy who likes for you to stand right in front and, you know, just throw punches at you. But as you've seen, all night long, he was missing, not just missing, he was missing badly. And he was getting countered, and, you know, it was clearly that Lara won the fight.
Did you feel like, you know, I mean, he moved around so much that if he had used angles more and stopped and thrown and then moved, that the judges might have had a different feeling. But because he was doing that so much that the judges, you know, went with Canelo.
I mean, what movement have to do with anything? I mean, that's his style. That's the way he fights. But still, you know, he was landing clean punches.
Same judge who had Schumann.
Well, where did you go going into the 12th round? What did you tell Lara after the 11th round he needed to do? Did you feel he had the fight won?
This was the last round that, you know, he just got to continue doing what he's been doing. You know, just keep throwing punches and stepping around. Don't stand right in front of him, keep turning him. And that's what he did.
Can I ask Lara a question? Can we ask Lara a question?
I guess this is different.
Lara, Erislandy, were you bothered? You know, Canelo seemed to go very hard to your body. Were you bothered by his body shots at all?
Te tiró al cuerpo, te hizo algo al cuerpo.
No, en ningún momento, sí, tiró golpe al cuerpo, pero en ningún momento me afectó.
Ni nada en la
Ni nada, solamente hubo una herida que no se sabe cómo fue, pero ya, nada.
He says no body shots, nothing hurt, and he didn't land no headshots. One thing I will say, what amazes me is that Levi Martinez had Campillo beating Shumanov in the same exact type of style fight, 117, 111. And tonight, it was the other way around. How does that make sense? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Something needs to be done. If not, this sport's not going to make it. It's not going to make it.
For Mr. De La Hoya, what are your thoughts on a rematch?
Oscar De La Hoya.
Thoughts on the rematch? What I heard from everybody was they don't want a rematch. Nobody wants a rematch. Now, there's 10 guys in line. Lara just lost, and now he has to wait in line. So there's 10 guys in line. That's the way this works. There's guys. Look. Lara, and I said it all along, Lara's a very slick, very confusing, very difficult fighter. That was no secret. That was no secret whatsoever. But Canelo won tonight, and now we have to move on.
This guy sounds like Don King right now. That's pathetic. He sounds like Don King.
We're back here, the press conference now finishing up, and it seems to me that Oscar De La Hoya put his foot down here tonight, saying that Erislandy Lara will probably not get a rematch against Canelo Alvarez. It was a close fight, but Oscar saying that, you know what, there's other people in line, there's other people to make fights with Canelo, and that, you know, they need to move on. He needs to go to the back of the line and get a few more wins, and maybe in the near future get a fight with Canelo. Now, the future for Canelo, we could see him in a huge matchup against Miguel Cotto. I know that one has the potential to just be a huge mega fight, either at the end of this year or early 2015, and maybe even move up in weight for Canelo Alvarez to go up against Gennady Golovkin. I know that's another fight you fight fans are desperately wanting to see Canelo go up and against. You got to give Canelo credit for his part. He goes in, gets the job done, and really fights the fights that you fans want him to fight. So much props to him and getting a victory here tonight at the MGM Grand. Now, I hope you've enjoyed our coverage over here at the Boxing Channel. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot of stuff coming to you this week as the Mayweather versus Maidana 2 press tour rolls around here in the United States. We're going to have a lot of video coming away for that. So for now, here tonight in Las Vegas, this is Marcos Villegas signing off.